Hi, welcome back to Real Auto Reports. I'm Jonathan McGrew, and today we have the real review of the 2013 Ford Flex. This is the SEL model. It's all-wheel drive, but it's not EcoBoost, and we'll talk a lot more about that and the other options available on this 2013 model year with the refreshed fascia and some pretty cool features. So, join us. Hi, so welcome back. We are in, as I mentioned earlier, the 2013 Ford Flex. Now, this Flex is the SEL all-wheel drive model, and it's the one without the EcoBoost. And we've driven a lot of EcoBoost cars lately, but not the base model. So this is an interesting experiment to see the difference between the base six-cylinder that comes in this Ford Flex and the EcoBoost. So we're going to check that out. We're also going to check out all the different options that this SEL has, and this one is well equipped. And we're going to see what you think about it in this real video and really give you all the details you need to know. So let's check it out. All right, so the first thing we want to start with is the look of this 2013 Ford Flex. The Flex has been redesigned for 2013. It's in its fourth model year basically, or fourth year basically. And what we know is that this car came from concepts that were shown at the 2005 Detroit Auto Show, or the North American International Auto Show, if you want to say the long title and the mouthful. But the Flex has been doing pretty well for the last couple years, and now in its new 2013 skin, you're going to see a lot of differences. The front is very different. They've gone to these more integrated headlights, a single bar across the front. Otherwise, the side and the roof line is pretty similar, with no changes that we really can tell. The back is different, however. They removed the big round Ford oval, and the other thing on the front is that the Ford badge is gone as well. That's something we should point out. It just says Flex across the leading edge of the hood. So that's something that you're going to find in this new Flex. Now, something else that we noticed about the Flex is that it's also inside got the new gauge cluster, similar to that of the Ford Explorer. It also has a similar gauge or wheel to the Ford Explorer. It's got this 3-spoke wheel. This is going to have all your controls on it to control the color gauges in the dash. The left side being your fuel and trip and history and all that, and the right side being your entertainment group. All full color, all very slick, and really allows you to drive without and use the features of the car. So 2013 has a lot of neat options in the 2013 Flex. And this is sure to please Ford owners who might love their Flex but might be looking to trade up, or people who were waiting for these options to come in the Flex but they hadn't yet. Some other things we want to talk about in the 2013 Ford Flex, again, is this engine difference. So EcoBoost is the way to go in Ford today. I mean, that is their top flagship motor in all of the models that we've tested. Something else that you'll notice is that if you go back to the Explorer and the Escape review we've done, both 2013 models, those all had EcoBoost. This is the first 2013 Ford model that we've tested without the EcoBoost in it. So this is your 3.5 liter V6 engine. It's going to have 287 horsepower. And in the all-wheel drive model like we have here, it's 17 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon out on the freeway, with a combined EPA estimate of 19 miles per gallon. And if we look at the little telltale gauge over here on the left, I can tell you that across the 400 and some miles that we've driven this Ford Flex, it indeed is getting that 19 miles per gallon combined. So we've been on the freeway, we've been in town, and that's nice to see that this vehicle that can carry in the option group that we have 7 passengers in full leather with climate control and rear heating, that this thing can get 19 miles per gallon combined, and that's really going to help you at the pump. For that one extra seat to go up to the current Expedition, you're going to get 20 miles per gallon just if you drive it on the freeway. so the combined rating is much lower. So this is a real good carry-all. It's positioned right between the Explorer and the Expedition in terms of size. It's a lower vehicle in terms of its stance to the ground, but it is a long vehicle. It kind of looks like a Range Rover Mini Cooper that's been jammed together, and it's a really neat looking, unique vehicle out on the road. So the thing with the motor and the value is, do you need EcoBoost? And we're going to check that out right now. So as we cruise along here, you know, the thing about EcoBoost is it's going to give you a lot more horsepower. It's going to give you 365 horsepower to our 287 horsepower in this standard or naturally aspirated 3.5. That's really going to change your miles per gallon only by 1 mile per gallon due to the technology that's in the EcoBoost. So if you really like horsepower and you're willing to pay for it, the EcoBoost is a good deal because you're really only losing 1 mpg in the city and 1 mpg combined with the EcoBoost option. Now, that said, we're seeing 0 to 60 times for this naturally aspirated 3.5 right around the 6.6 to 7.2 range. It really depends on where you look. They definitely are more performance oriented in the Flex than they have been in the past. This is a nice car and it's got a lot of good performance features. Now, if you step up to the EcoBoost, what you're going to find is that your 0 to 60 time in this new 2013 model year will be right around 5.7 as tested by Car and Driver. We really like Car and Driver, grew up reading Car and Driver, so I think you can trust that they know what they're talking about. Some other things with the naturally aspirated, though, is that you aren't going to get the turbo lag, and with 287 horsepower, you're going to still be able to really move in this car. So, good value proposition either way, but then there's the price. And with the EcoBoost, you're going to find that there's a premium associated with that. The SEL model that we're testing right now is $33,300 as a base SEL. When we option it up the way we have this car today, you're going to be looking at $39,135 as tested. Now, the base model limited that comes standard with the EcoBoost is $39,200 as a base price, and most likely you're still going to have to option it up. So any way you slice it, the EcoBoost is going to cost you a little bit more. So if you like performance, it's really going to buy you that aspect of it. If you're looking for a good carry-all family vehicle, good looking, not quite your SUV look, more kind of funky, this car in the naturally aspirated 3.5 is still a really good deal, really good performance, and the miles per gallon is just not that much different, so you're not really missing out by not having the EcoBoost. Okay, so let's talk about this car from a comfort and convenience and just all-out feature perspective. Of course, this one is optioned up with the sync package, so that's just like in the Escape and the Explorer. Everything here, they've got this 4-quadrant grid. You've got your compass, your climate control. Right here, you can turn the heated seats on, touch of a button, your radio, and your cell phone integration. And then you've got your redundant volume controls here, as well as on the steering wheel. You have your climate control options here, as well as if you hit the touchscreen and you want to do everything on the touchscreen. There's also the voice option, which works fairly well. You do have to be patient with it, and you also have to be clear with your enunciation to make sure that it hears you correctly, especially if you have other things going on in the car. If people are laughing in the car or making fun of your sync system, and I can't imagine that ever happening when it doesn't understand you, if they're laughing and you're continuing to try to talk to the sync system, it's really not going to understand you. So it's really neat technology. We really like that hands-free aspect, but it does have its little drawbacks. Now, some other features and conveniences in this car, you do have the 6-speed automatic transmission with the sport mode and the manual shifting here on the side of the shifter. We're not a real big fan of this. We used to see this back in the Malibus back 5-6 years ago even, where the shifters on the to change up or down for the manual transmissions is here on the side of the shifter. And it's just not, we kind of like the movement of the shifter better than this button aspect on the side, because it's hard to really grab onto and use with your thumb. It's just not as intuitive. But it's all right. It works. It does give you the manual feature in this car, so we like that. Some other things that this car has that we really like are the power and memory seats on the driver's side, which is really nice. You can also use all the gauge cluster that we talked about up here in the dashboard with the dual color displays. You know, that really stems from the original Ford Fusion Hybrid, where they redid it in 2000, I believe that was 2009, and that was a neat system, dual color gauges on either side of the speedometer, and now we're seeing that really come through the Explorer and other vehicles. So that's nice to see. And from a comfort perspective, this Ford Flex is comfortable. The seats are not as supportive as the new Explorer or the Escape, which we thought was kind of interesting, and that's probably because some of this is a carryover. This is an older vehicle in the design language. They've just refreshed it for 2013, as we talked about, but there are still some things that you can tell are from previous generations of the Flex, like these buttons. These buttons and door panels are much more F-150 from a couple years ago than they are the new Ford Explorer from today in that kind of gauge cluster setup. The other thing that this vehicle doesn't have, but you can get, is the intelligent key. This is a real key in the SEL, but you can get the intelligent key. This vehicle also does not have the active park assist or the active parallel parking in terms of being able to reverse you into a parallel parking space. So you can get it, though. It is available, and we've demonstrated that on the Escape. It's a really cool feature. So you can look for those options, and makes this car really comfortable. The thing this car does have, it does have the rear park assist, it does have the rear camera, and it also has the blind spot monitoring, which you might be able to see lit up here in the mirror already because there's cars next to me. It also has the cross path detection, which is beautiful for parking lots, especially with a vehicle as long as the Flex, with as many passengers that you can put in here. You're going to like that cross path detection to warn you if you're backing out of a space and somebody's coming down the aisle and you can't see around the Suburban or the, Hummer or something else that's parked next to you that's blocking your view. So some really nice features. The comfort, the interior is really nice. The seats, we feel like could be more supportive, but they do have the electric lumbar that we love. And the dashboard is soft touch pretty much everywhere. Here in front of the passenger, there is some plastic here, but then again over here in front of the driver, it's soft touch. This whole dash pad's soft touch on the doors along with the hard plastic. And they've really done a nice job to make this vehicle feel upper class. And at the $39,000 price point, it does a good job of that. So that's the real review of the 2013 Ford Flex. This vehicle is the SEL model. It's all-wheel drive. It has the 3.5-liter non-EcoBoost V6, 287 horsepower, and 19 miles per gallon combined. It's about $39,000 as equipped and comes with some pretty cool features like the sync system, the automatic liftgate, of course the all-wheel drive, and heated seats with full dual climate control and rear heater controls for your rear passengers' comfort. It's a really sharp vehicle, it's unique out on the road, and we think you might just like it too. So let us know on our YouTube page, and until next time, we'll see you down the road.